Hi there. I just drew a circle. I started off with a round shape. I laid it on the paper and then I drew a circle. It's not perfect, but for what we're doing, it's close enough. I wonder how many shapes you can think of that are, or how many things you can think of that are in the shape of a circle. I'm thinking of a pumpkin pie. That's in the shape of a circle. I'm thinking of a wheel on a truck. That's in the shape of a circle. I'm thinking of the full moon up in the sky. That's in the shape of a circle. I wonder how many things you can think of that are in the shape of a circle. Then I'm going to fold my circle in half. When I showed this shape to my grandson, he said, "Apple slice." Can you see an apple slice? Or maybe, can you see a smile? Or maybe even a beard? Or maybe part of the moon in the sky when it's a half moon? Then, going to fold it in half again. And I wonder what you can see in this shape. What could that be? Maybe it could be the bill of a duck. Quack, quack, quack. I wonder what else you could see with that one. Maybe a slice of orange could be that one. Then I'm going to fold it in half again. And when I showed this shape to my grandson, do you know what he said? Do you know what he said? He said, "Candy corn." He likes candy corn, and I do too. Some people don't, but I do. Then I'm going to take all of this and open it all up. So I have 8 little pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm going to make a mark where the folds come to the edge of the paper, just like that. I'll go all the way around, making 8 marks for 8 folds. And then on one of these marks, I'm going to draw a sun. And directly across from that, at the mark down here, I'm going to draw something that has 6 points. I wonder what that could be. I'm drawing a snowflake. And what I have made, this is a kind of wheel, but it's kind of a wheel that shows the year. So right here is the middle of summer, and right here is the middle of winter. And then I'll draw another. So if you go straight down and then straight across, I'm going to draw a flower. And on the flower, I'm going to draw something that has 4 wings and 2 eyes, and it has a little stinger. I drew a bee on the flower. This is the middle of spring. And I wonder what the opposite of the middle of spring would be. I'm going to draw a leaf. If I had my crayons, or if I had my markers, I might make the leaf orange, or maybe I'd make it red or yellow. That's when leaves change color. So now we have our wheel of the year. So we have winter, goes to spring, goes to summer, and then that goes to fall, or sometimes we call it autumn. That's kind of neat. The wheel goes round and round, like the seasons of the year go round and round. But I want to talk about one of the in-between marks. I want to talk about the mark that's right between fall and winter. That's this mark right there. And I'm going to draw a little picture for that mark. Now you might think it's kind of a funny picture to draw for that mark, I don't know if you can tell what I'm drawing or not from the way you're looking. Probably not, but I'll show it to you in just a little bit. And you might think it's a funny picture to draw for this mark. If you were going to draw a picture for this mark, I don't think you would draw this picture. I think you would draw something else. I'll show you my picture in just a little bit. I drew a picture of a horse. This mark right here is the mark for today. Today is something called All Saints' Day. And it's a day that's halfway between the middle of fall and the middle of winter. And it's a day when we remember people who have died. And I would like to tell you about someone that I know who has died, but I never actually met this person. I have a tool that used to belong to this person. This is called a plane. It's for smoothing out wood, and it used to belong to my grandfather, Jonas Yoder. Now, Jonas died when my daddy was just a little boy, so I never actually met Jonas. But in a way, I met him. And I'm going to tell you in 3 ways that I sort of have met Jonas. One of the ways is Jonas liked to use his hands to make things. I like to use my hands to make things. He used this wood plane. It's sort of like a knife. This part right here is really, really sharp. So I have to be careful when I use this so I don't cut myself. And then when it's stuck into the block holds it at just the right depth and just the right angle. You can adjust it up and down, and you can cut just the right amount of wood. And so you have to be really careful when you're using it and try to work very exactly to make it come out just right. My grandfather Jonas, he was kind of persnickety. That's what my grandma Lena told me about him. And I can be kind of persnickety sometimes too. Persnickety, that means when you think you know just exactly how you want it to be. And if it doesn't come out right, you have to do it again and again and again until it does. I'm kind of persnickety. You might be persnickety too. I don't know. And then another way that I'm the same as my grandfather Jonas is when he was a young man, he had a beard like me. And his beard right here was red. And people called him Red. That was his nickname. Now, when I was a young man, my beard was red too. And that was the first part of my beard that turned white later on. So I have a beard like my grandfather. It used to be red. And then there's one more way that I'm like my grandfather Jonas, who I never met. But I sort of met him. I sort of met him because I'm persnickety. And I sort of met him because I used to have red in my beard. And the other way that I sort of met my grandfather is he liked to draw pictures. And I like to draw pictures too. And one of his favorite things he liked to draw was a horse. And I know that because in one of the buildings on the farm where my father grew up, it was up in a machine shed, up by the lane that went out to the fields. There, he drew a horse on the machine shed wall. And I got to see it before they tore down the machine shed. So those are 3 ways that I'm remembering my grandfather. There's a lot of other marks on this wheel of the year, and maybe you can find out from someone what those marks are. Thank you for listening to my story.